Shova how's it? Yeah. So I will be checking out a tutorial on how to work on some type of Enoo Napa AfroTech. So I'm quite frustrated about just what happened because I just worked on this just now. I was doing a live session just like I do, starting the project from scratch. But I just noticed when I was done that this thing wasn't recording the audio, so I just wasted about an hour of my life. But luckily you still have the project, so I'll just be doing something like a project review. I guess that's the only thing I can do now because you cannot see where I started. And yeah, so I'll just show you guys which plugins I used and that type of drums that I picked. So first of all, you should listen carefully. The Enoo Napa type of style I was approaching for is the more simpler tracks that it usually does. And as you can see on the second half of this track, we have a bit more complex parts like choirs and more change in progression, as you can see here. But right on the first half, there's not much going on. So what Enoo Napa usually does is that the first part of a track usually has something like this for a very long time, for almost half the song, whereby he slowly introduces percussion by percussion, slowly introduces a few stuff. But I didn't do that because I didn't want the whole thing to be long. So this is just my first half and my second half. Yeah. So first of all, I have we'll just check out my drums first. Just a simple drums. Yeah, now funny enough, these are all the drums I used for this tutorial. It's just a kick, a tambourine with some delay, and this simple percussion here, also with some reverb. Let's listen to that again. When I remove the delay on the tambourine, that's what. Same thing with this guy here with some reverb. Just that. So I just wanted those few drums to fill up some space. That's why I added some effects there. Then next I have this shaker. It's just a simple shaker which I always use, I think, or I use most of the time anyways. Yep, and lastly is just this thing here, which Enoo Napa uses when the track goes on. And then I have don't know what to call this. My effects. Yeah, those are my drums. That's it. So let's check out his sounds. Now first is just this pad. What I noticed about the sounds is that he usually has more darker sounds when the tracks are made. So yeah, I had to operate mostly on the lower frequencies because I wanted those dark sounds. So let's start with this pad. As you can see, I mean, it's very low. Okay, that's not the one. This is the one. It's very low, E2, and I had to remove some of the bassy part of the pads. So we'll check that out real quick. This is it. I see I cut off some low end there. You'll be able to hear the difference if you have more headphones, which covers some bass. Yep. And then the famous piano. It's also a Nexus piano, playing piano in heaven. Playing piano in heaven. And then what I have next, this is the piano which follows that rhythm, and I managed to introduce it right at this type of smaller nyana drop, whereby I remove the pad. So what I would have at that point is these drums. Yeah, so that's the type of rhythm we're following, that type of dance rhythm. So that's why that's how I introduced that piano nyanada with the removal of the pad. Then what next, we have a smaller yana synth. As you can hear, there's some reverb nyana there, and I played with a panning up. You can see this is panned a bit to the left, this one panned a bit to the right, so that's why there's like effect that it's bouncing left and right. So I did the same thing to all the others. Remove the reverb. So that's done. So this type of sound, I also introduced it with this piano right at this subtle drop here. Yep, that's it for that section. So I definitely use this as some kind of intro section, and then this one is whereby the middle part of the track, and then takes it home right at the end. Yeah, so the other part, this part right there, I introduce back this bass pad, but next, now we're setting up a progression. We introduce this choir because of progress of the song, and we headed towards a climax. So this is my choir. Yeah, that's the choir. So when the choir gets in, we bring it together with the bass pad at first, and with the shakers and stuff, since we killed most of the things. Yeah, so let's play that part, nyan. Yes, that's that. So next we add a bit more complication to that choir, but it's not that much of complication because it was at first these two. So I just added this upper progression to give it a bit more variation while headed towards a climax. So that's how it sounds. Yeah, this is definitely what I do. This part I just added. I'm not sure anyone would do that type of approach, but that's all me, guys. I always add a bit of me in this type of tutorials, yeah. And with that, I introduced this guy also here. Yeah, in all honesty, this was not the type of ride that I would go for, but yeah, this is the type of ride that I found. So let's just from this Molanyana drop towards La section. Yeah, and that's it. Just this Molanyana part. It's just this bass pad which changes progression and follows this one right here at the end. So yeah, guys, that's it. So let me play the whole thing now so that we enjoy it. Yeah. That is it. That is it. Yeah, sure. Thanks, guys. Hope this was recording this time. Jeez, at least